In the year 1680, Chatrapati Shivaji Maharaj passed away, and following that, in 1682, Aurangzeb started off on a campaign to destroy the Marathas, bring the entire India under his rule. In those times, Mughal Empire was very strong. They were like the America of today. They had endless resources in terms of finances, in terms of arms and ammunition, infrastructure, and they were backed by a very strong military. In 4 years, that is by 1686, Aurangzeb destroyed the other kingdoms in Deccan, like the Adil Shah and the Qutub Shah. And now, the Marathas remained the only hurdle in its path to establish the Mughal Empire all over India. Marathas were passionately and fiercely led by their king Chatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, the son of Chatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. But in 1689, the Mughals imprisoned Chatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and Aurangzeb subjected him to inhuman torture before putting him to death. Subsequently, the Maratha capital Raigad fort also fell in Mughal hands. The Marathas had lost their king and they had lost their capital. Aurangzeb and the Mughals thought that the war was over and Marathas are vanquished. But what unfolded later is nothing short of legendary, and actually it is not even talked about much. Before we go further with this video, I would like to introduce or bring about the infinite game theory. Infinite game theory is a concept put about by well-known American author and speaker Simon Sinek. In a finite game, like cricket or football, the objective is clear: score more than the opposition and you are the winner. But in an infinite game, the objective is not to win, but the objective is to keep playing. Keep playing for a cause. Keep playing for an ideal. No matter if you win or lose, you have to keep playing. It is the infinite game mentality that gives long-term success and sustainability. Now let's put this theory in the historical context. After Chatrapati Shivaji Maharaj's death, his younger brother, Chatrapati Raja Ramraje, managed to flee Raigad before it was captured by Mughals. From Raigad, he reached Kinji, which is to the south of Chennai, and from there, he kept the battle alive. The Marathas had lots of forts in their control. The Mughals would come to try and win the forts. Battles, siege, skirmishes would take place. The Marathas would fiercely resist the Mughal aggression until there was enough ammunition and stock on the fort. This would go for around 8 to 12 months. After that, once they were out of stock of ammunition and food, they would surrender the fort to the Mughals. The Mughals used to be very happy. They used to think that they have won. They then used to fortify those forts, replenish the food and ammunition stocks on the fort, and on an unsuspecting night, the Marathas would come and recapture the fort from them. This went on for almost 18 years on more than 100 forts in the Deccan. Do you know why Marathas kept fighting? Because they were not fighting to win. They were not fighting to capture more area under their control. They were fighting to keep the idea of Hindavi Swarajya alive. The idea of self-rule that was given to them by their beloved king Chatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. The idea of Swarajya for which Chatrapati Shivaji Maharaj had laid down his life. This was their infinite game mindset. They were fighting for a cause. They were fighting for their values. The Mughals, on the other hand, were playing the finite game. They were fighting to vanquish the Marathas and bring more and more land under their control. And that is why when they won a battle, or when they used to win a fort, or when Marathas used to surrender a fort, they used to get happy and think that they are winning. Aurangzeb often used to reward such a commander with high post and lots of money. But when Marathas used to fight back and win the fort back from them, the Mughals often lost their motivation. They couldn't take the loss. Aurangzeb also used to rebuke and demote such an officer. In 1707, after spending almost 25 years of his life in Deccan, trying to vanquish the Marathas, Aurangzeb passed away. He could never return back home as a victor. In this battle to vanquish the Marathas, he had exhausted all his resources, but the Marathas were still there. In this battle, the Mughals had won a lot of wars. They had won lots of forts. The Marathas had surrendered on many of the forts. But if you look at the larger picture, the Mughals had actually lost. They had lost their resources, they had lost their motivation, and because Aurangzeb had spent a lot of time away from his capital, administration had also suffered. The Mughal army was tired of this long campaign and they wanted to return back to their homes of Delhi and Agra. The Marathas had managed to survive the Mughal storm for 27 years. And now, after Aurangzeb's death, they took the advantage of the ensuing economical, political and military crisis in the Mughal Empire. Less than 50 years after Aurangzeb's death, the Marathas had expanded all over India. The Mughal emperor was only nominal. In fact, the Mughal emperor was chosen by the Marathas themselves. The Marathas had reached up to Attock in the northwest, to Bengal in the east, and up to Tanjore in the south. It was their mentality of never giving up, no matter what circumstances, had taken them to such heights. The idea of Hindavi Swarajya, the idea of self-rule that was given to them by Chatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, made them fight even in the darkest times. If you agree with us about the infinite game theory and the Maratha mentality, hit like, share the video, let us know your thoughts in the comment box, subscribe to the channel. If you would like to know the economic principles that Chatrapati Shivaji Maharaj used for economic growth and prosperity in his kingdom, watch this video.